This is a 2007 Ford S-Max diesel, and I've had problems with the windscreen squirter. The motor runs, but no water comes out. If you have problems with your windscreen squirter, the tank is located in a position you can get to if you take the front pan off, and then this is the tank here. It's on the left hand side in front of the wheel. The pump can be pulled out. It's fitted into a rubbery seal. The rubbery seal also has a bit of a filter on it. In my case, that filter was completely clogged up with this stuff. I don't even know what it is. It looks like it might be mould. Maybe that's a good reason for, at least some of the time, using screen wash rather than just water and soap. So that's the easy way of fixing a clogged up screen wash on a 2007 Ford S-Max. There's two tubes, and I read on the internet that there's a thing which makes the water come out either one or the other. So I think I can fix it if I can get to it. I can't find very much information online, but I've started off by removing the mudguard shield, which has enabled me to get at this bolt here, which is one of the bolts that holds the assembly in. The assembly has the engine management system in a box underneath it as well. By assembly I mean the water tank, etc. Now my second challenge in removing it is the screw down there, which I can't get at without taking the bumper off. It involves taking these two screws out here, and probably the same the other side, and well, this car's scrap if it can't pass an MOT, and it won't pass an MOT with no windscreen squirter. So I'm looking for an easy option. So my next line of thought is if I can get my 10mm spanner, socket spanner, in through a hole in the body here. That might do all I need, but then I might find there's another screw further down. I don't know, and I can't see. Well, maybe if this is loose enough, I can get my hand down on the pump and get the pump off. I'm not taking this off. Why such a small hole, I hear you ask? I've just got to get this socket on the end of here. Huh. That's not going to be easy either. So I have the socket hanging on a piece of sellotape. Now I have a bit of blue tack holding as well. That gives me the ability to manoeuvre it a bit more, I hope. Yes! Will it come out now? Well, there is another clip I can see. So this here, how does this come off? And I just lift it up, and does it pull out? Okay, had to lift up and then it came out. So does that mean the whole thing comes out now? I'm not sure it does. The unclip the engine management. Clip. Is that how it works? And I can see the engine management system is firmly bolted onto that. I think it has to all come out together. Perhaps it will wiggle round enough for me to get my hand down to the pump. Wiggle, wiggle. I've disconnected that. Probably making it harder that it's full of water. Yeah, I can siphon the water out of it. Perhaps some of the water the best out is better than none of the water out. That's as much water as will come out for now. I have no idea. I have no idea. I managed to lever off the actual pump. So now, presumably, the pump is hanging on its pipes and wires. So I still can't get at the pump. You can see the wires and pipes going into the pump. There's a clip. Clip that. Okay, I've pulled the clip out of the body, so now the pump is just on the end of this pipe and its wires. But I can't see how the wires route. If I pull this too hard, the pipe connector will just come off, like it did for the other one. I pulled this one too hard. I'm going to take the floor pan off, see whether I can get up to it from underneath. I got that plate that goes and makes everything difficult to see off from underneath, and now it does look as if I was a complete idiot and I should have just looked under here in the first place. That's the pump there, completely accessible from underneath. So I've made the job harder by taking these other bits off. Right. So this is the first thing I pulled out from the top, thinking it was the pump, but it's actually the water level gauge. Look, you can see it has a little, well, I don't know if you can see or not, but it has a little float on the end of it. And some clever business. Now, so I've got to try and get that back in, otherwise it leaves a great big hole in the side of the tank. But this is the water pump. That came out fairly easily, sort of just levered down. And I believe there may be something wrong with the bit that switches between whether it pumps one way or the other. I'll try and get that apart, see what we can see. So I pulled this little thing off, and I think it's a one-way valve. It's got an arrow on it somewhere there. It's got an arrow on it. I can't blow or suck through it in either direction. Maybe that's the cause of the trouble. I managed to lever the top off this, and spring has come out, which I haven't yet lost. That's the result. So what's this bit? And what's this bit? Can't see any dirt yet. So presumably that went in there like that. This looks like a little diaphragm of some kind. Perhaps another spring under there. Oh, that was trying to escape and get lost. So that's a very thin piece of rubbery material. See if I can blow through it with nothing else in it. I can blow through it freely, so why was it, perhaps it was just like stuck because it hadn't had any water in it for ages because of lockdown and so on. It weren't going out anywhere. I'll just clean that. I think that went that way up. Well, before I took it apart, I was trying actually to suck through it, because you can suck harder than you can blow. I'm wondering whether there's actually nothing wrong with it, it's working as designed. Sucking isn't a thing through a thing like that. You have to be blowing. Well, I don't quite understand this thing. I'm going to put it back together and hope. Snapped it back together. I'm still a bit suspicious of it. I'm going to see if I can get the system back together enough to test it without that thing on there. If it works, I might just block up the flow to the rear window, because I don't need that for the MOT. But I never use it, to be honest. I use my outside wing mirrors. So this is weird. I put a fair bit of water in the tank, and then I tried the pump without that valve on. Nothing came out, so I thought I'll have to take the pump off again. So I pulled the pump off expecting to get wet, and no water came out of the hole the pump was in. I don't know why. So I'm gonna put some more water in, and presumably at some point it will come out the hole where the pump goes on. Well, that is strange. So the tank is full of water, but no water's coming out of the massive hole that I just took the pump off. It makes no sense at all. It's like literally the tank has a little branch where the pump is connected, and that whole branch is somehow clogged up. And it's not cold enough for ice or anything at the moment. It makes no sense. I've got this stick. I'm going to poke that up there. This started when I filled it up from the tap up at the quarry. Perhaps there was something strange in the pipe. This 2007 Ford S-Max. If you have problems with your windscreen squirter, the tank is located in a position you can get to if you take the front pan off. And then this is the tank here. It's on the left hand side in front of the wheel. The pump can be pulled out. It's fitted into a rubbery seal. The rubbery seal also has a bit of a filter on it. In my case, that filter was completely clogged up with this stuff. I don't even know what it is. It looks like it might be mould. Maybe that's a good reason for, at least some of the time, using screen wash rather than just water and soap. That's the easy way of fixing a clogged up screen wash on a 2007 Ford S-Max. I gave it a good rinse through with some hot soapy water. Now I'm going to put it back together after lunch, if it doesn't snow. Right, that's on. Try and get this thing back on. I need to glue this hat on my head. Okay, I've got the fan back on. Now the headlamp back in. Jiggles in easily. May as well put that on while I'm here. Now this screw is dodgy because you can drop it down there. I should have put this on before I put the floor pan back in, because it's easy to drop the screw down there and then you can't get at it. But I've got lucky. Can you put some more water in there, please? Going to put the wheel back on and then take the jack out. I'm going to let the jack down. Job done.